Hey, just wanted to give everybody a little heads up. Episode 7 of a wrestling podcast is long. It's very long. JD and I get very much into the weeds, or as he will be known as JDP. You got to do the thumbs to the shoulder. We get very in the weeds on a lot of different topics. I've known him for 27 years. So when you listen to this conversation, you're literally listening to two friends, two bros that just got a couple mics in front of them and just went the distance. And you'll find out in the episode that this was his first ever podcast. And I thank him for allowing me to be his first podcast. He expressed to me, off air, how happy he was to be doing this and how excited he was. And it's cool to me that I'm giving a platform to my friends and people that are like family to me that I've known for so long, an opportunity to talk about something that they really love, whether it's for 5 people, 10 people, 50 people, 2,000 people. We're here. We're going to be talking, and I appreciate it. So far, you guys have met Brandon, you've met my child, and now you're going to meet quite possibly my longest tenured friend. Again, 27 years. JD and I have been talking wrestling and experienced wrestling in a whole different fashion for a long time. So sit back, listen, and just enjoy our talk. We do end up talking about our top 10 favorite Royal Rumbles, which is quite the list for both guys. So check it out. Leave me, sorry, because leave us for this episode. I'm getting confused here because it's my podcast, but this is an episode with a guest, and so that's our podcast. And either way, give us a like, follow, share, check everything out. I have a link tree, a wrestling podcast, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, X, on all of those. Follow everything, take a listen, take a look-see, leave some comments. Oh, and if you want to get in contact with me, wrestling podcast host at gmail.com. All right, get into the episode. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the 7th episode of a wrestling podcast. And I still can't believe that name was fucking available. Today, I have with me pretty much my longest tenured friend. Like, I'm pretty sure, 5th grade I've known you since?
Just about.
Yeah. Well, this is JD Pierce, or other known as going forward on the show, JDP. How you doing, brother?
Good, good. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good, man. Both of us are on a tight schedule right now, but we're going to get some recording in, and then we're going to kind of break for a little bit and then get back to it. So, just to let everybody know, yeah, you and I have been friends for a hell of a long time. Maybe it was was it 4th grade or was it 5th grade?
I
Because I don't
honestly,
remember.
I honestly can't put a grade on it because, after a while, all of the years just start merging together. But
Yeah, that's true.
it's been fucking forever, bro.
It's yeah, it's somewhere around that area because we were both living on Pearl Street at the
Yeah.
time.
Oh,
Um, yeah, it was a hell of a time, man. You and I have been through a lifetime.
let's see, freaking wrestling in the living room, Matt breaking the sliding door window.
Uh-huh, throwing people down my steps,
Yes.
uh, breaking the
Playing
banister.
football in like the field. You sitting on Tito's head.
Me power bombing that one kid thinking I broke his back. Do you remember that?
Yes. Like we used to play backyard wrestling before it was like the thing on the internet.
Was it Buddy that jumped off the back of your house
You know
when
what?
because we had that mattress out back one time, and I'm pretty sure Buddy jumped off the fucking top of the back of your house, like off the
That
front back porch.
that is very possible, knowing that crazy son of a bitch.
Yeah, we were fun back in the day. We got banned from my house from doing wrestling because of the sliding door, and then the blinds in the back. My mom was so pissed.
Oh man.
Um, dude, so okay, childhood memories aside and all that stuff, what what was it about professional wrestling that kind of got you into it? What was the hook that brought you in?
So I remember watching the golden era, back in Hulk Hogan, all this kind of stuff. Just because it was a cool thing to watch on TV.
Yeah.
But it really wasn't until, my teenage years where like the fucking attitude era just jumped off the map, and seeing DX and Stone Cold, and then the freaking Monday Night War between WWF, WCW. Like But out of all 7 days, Monday night was my favorite night of the week.
Yeah. Yeah. Monday
my
night,
living
man.
room, my living room, so I told my parents that once 8 o'clock rolls around, I'm rolling this downstairs because I would have freaking WCW Monday Nitro on in one room, and then Monday Night Raw in the other room,
I
and
remember.
it was just it was pure fucking heaven. It was there was just not a better time to be a professional wrestling fan besides right now. I think right now is the closest
Oof.
that we've gotten since then.
I think we're above what we were at the
Well,
Attitude Era. I think we
well,
are, man.
yeah, but for nostalgia purposes, that will always that will always be my golden baby right there. But
Yeah.
I will forever be biased when it comes to
Because life was so much fucking easier back then, right? We didn't have
that.
bills, we didn't have fucking
Oh,
kids, we didn't have responsibilities. We
right,
were
grown
we
up
were made of
responsibilities.
rubber. We
Yes.
God, I fucking wake up in the mornings now and my bones feel like I need WD-40 in them bitches, you know?
Sucks getting older. And I'm not even 40 yet. That's that's the part that's bullshit.
Life be lifing, man. It sucks.
Not about that, bro.
So, okay, considering you have been around professional wrestling since pretty much the golden era, just like me, we grew up on this shit. Um, who are, and I've asked this to Brandon, I've asked this to the child. Could you sit here and tell me your top three favorite wrestlers, like right off the head?
Oh, okay. So gun to my head, it would have to be Bret Hart, Stone Cold, and The Undertaker.
Ooh, that's quick, man. And that's all time.
Yes.
Ooh. All right. So what about top three current wrestlers?
So top top three current kind of varies sometimes. But if I had to go right now, I will say Roman Reigns. And we both know that I've been a Roman guy since day one.
Oh yeah, we look. Both of us, when he was in the Shield, I remember our conversations. Man, that's gonna be a motherfucker right there. Yeah, he's gonna be the next wave. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Nope, nobody else wanted to listen, bro. And it was just, I remember them blue eyes. I was like, them blue eyes and that jawline, baby. Gonna get them panties wet, male and female. And look, here we are in
Right.
2024.
All right. So we got Roman, Randy Orton, and Drew McIntyre.
Dude, Randy Orton, I'm surprised that you didn't call Randy Orton in your top three of all time. Like, that's why I
So
was very surprised, man.
because it's top three. So I mean, like it's like So all right, so now Randy would be like a close number four.
Okay. Okay. So he's
But
definitely in your top five.
oh yes, yes.
Okay.
Because I don't ask me to name that fifth person because I want to bring up one right now.
So if we were to say your top five, like all time top five, it's Brett, Stone Cold, Undertaker. Who is number four? Is that going to be Randy, or would it be Roman and then Randy for five? Or is Roman even number four at that point?
So if we're going pure all time, Randy would be four.
Okay, that makes total fucking sense. I'm not disappointed with Randy being at number four. Now knowing you're all around, yeah, I'm not, because Randy has, like, ever since he popped on the scene, Randy was kind of like your guy. You know what I mean? Like, all the way from the Randy TV to the fucking to the Apex Predator and all that. Like, I feel like you always resonated with his attitude,
Oh yeah.
you know? And when you just said he wasn't in your top three, I was like, ah, man, but okay, he's in your top five. All right, I will concede to that, sir.
Yeah, but it's like I can't realistically justify picking out Brett, Stone Cold, or Taker. I just can't realistically justify doing that.
No, especially with all the memories you have of them. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like, the Stone Cold dripping in blood, reaching for the fucking rope is ingrained in our heads. You know what I mean? And Bret Hart was your guy when we were younger.
Brett,
There was
Brett
no
will
ifs, ands, or buts about it, dude. Oh my God.
Brett will always be my guy, and it's like no, you will like hear like most people will claim that Shawn Michaels is better than Brett, and in most cases there is no denying that. I will never be mad at anybody saying that Shawn is better than Brett,
Right.
but I just like to me Brett was just so smooth with everything that he did.
Yeah, he moved like water, like fluid.
And it's like, every match was a freaking story. And like Bret Hart was one of the best authors to ever grace a wrestling ring.
And you know what? I can agree with you. And I think I know the reason why people say Sean's better than Brett is simply because Brett, and this is coming from a place of no hatred,
Oh,
because
yeah,
I love Brett as a wrestler and everything, but on the mic he fucking sucked. On the
yeah.
mic he was not great. Like, he rambled. He kind of went off script a few times, and yeah, of course that's justified. Shawn Michaels did as well,
Oh,
but
yeah.
Shawn Michaels was more vibrant and in your face and had that mic charisma. If Brett would have had some of that, I think that a lot of people would put Brett into a different category, because he's in that Chris Benoit, Jerry Lynn, Rob Van
Yeah.
Dam, like, super technical motherfuckers, but just don't talk, you know?
Yeah. Which is perfectly understandable.
Yeah, yeah. And that makes him obviously lesser than to a lot of people. And like we just said, it's not out of hatred, it's not out of whatever. Clearly he's your number one, so he still matters to a ton of fucking people.
Oh, yeah.
Um, are there any Bret Hart memories that really stick out to you? Like, what are like maybe your top three Bret Hart memories, if you could think about them right offhand?
So I don't really have like any like, top three, like, per se, but, I'm just kind of like, just kind of ramble here. So just bear with me.
Yeah, go ahead.
But, I like you mentioned it earlier. All right. So now, yeah, granted, it's more of a Stone Cold moment, but Bret Hart was also in that match,
Mm,
and that is probably one of my favorite matches ever.
okay.
Just like from start to finish, like it's just like the match moves so smoothly,
Yeah, yeah, it was awesome.
and it's like add in like Ken Shamrock in there was just like perfect too because like he was like big UFC guy at the time. Let's see what else. So of course, the Montreal Screwjob, that's gonna always be up there. And
Oh yeah.
I just remember like just watching that match and be like, what the fuck just happened?
Yeah. Yeah, dude.
And it's like it's like like and to this day, people will like they can't say if they think it's real or not. Now, I mean, if that whole thing was a work, that was done to absolute perfection.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Especially all the backstage stuff that happened afterwards. You know, in recent years, we've been led to believe that it was a work, that it was something between Vince and Brett that kind of
Uh-huh.
went down in secret, you know, which is really fucking weird to me. And the fact that, all right, so how do you feel about Triple H finally saying that like he was the one responsible for the majority of that?
I mean, I I do respect him for basically taking the bullet, but I don't find it to be the whole truth.
Mm,
I mean, now, I have no proof of that, so like, I'm not going to pretend that, that I do. but
mhm.
but like I just feel that this was his way of getting people to put that topic in like the past, and now we finally have somebody to blame for that night. I believe that was his reasoning for coming forward.
And it's kind of crazy because you would think that he would have gotten more backlash for coming forward and all that, but much like when the government said that aliens existed a few years ago,
Yeah,
nobody like batted an eye that Triple H was the one that finally came out as being responsible because it was kind of one of those unspoken things, right? Like
yeah,
we all kind of knew that he was responsible for it.
yeah, exactly.
So when he finally said that he was, it was like, oh, okay, well, it all right. But it
And it
was
happened.
weird.
Yeah, and like at this point, it happened so long ago. It's like it's really not that big of a deal anymore.
Yeah, but then you got people fucking bitching about an angle from WWE 6 years ago, still to this day, or 7 years ago that they didn't like because it didn't end right. You get what I'm saying? It's just weird the
Yeah.
hills that people die on when it comes to professional wrestling. It's fucking strange.
Um, to fully answer your question, I have one more. And it was just so as a kid, I loved with each match that Brett would come down and give a kid in the front row his sunglasses.
Yeah, that was the moment, right?
And I always wanted to be one of those kids.
Yeah.
But I never got a chance to go to a wrestling event, fucking let alone sit in the fucking first row
Yeah.
until
Yeah.
you know well into my 20s. So you know,
Yeah. You
but
definitely missed that opportunity.
oh, 1,000,000%.
Yep. Oh man, dude, pro wrestling. Just
Oh
fucking pro
man.
wrestling. Okay, so I feel like we're kind of in a good spot here right now for us to cut the first segment and everything. So
Okay, so
let's
now
say,
real quick, not to cut you off, but I'm kind of shocked that you didn't ask me why I picked my initials for my name going forward, JDP.
I figured it was something kind of like RKO.
Yes, to
Ah,
a point, to a point. But
okay,
I will give credit to Rob Van Dam for this
okay,
because like I never told nobody this, but I used to do like the whole see I wish that we was on camera right now, but I would always do the thumb thingy Rob Van Dam, but I would
jeez.
always say JDP.
Oh, that is truly wonderful. You know what? And this is the perfect area to cut off the first part of this because yeah, the JDP that is absolutely wonderful. So, okay, everybody that's listening, we're gonna cut right here. JD, don't go anywhere right now, but we're gonna cut right here, and we will be back, and nobody will even realize that it's been like 4 hours. So, see everybody in a little bit. And just like that, nobody knows any wiser. It's been about 4 hours since JD and I talked here previously. We both had some things to handle. So, um, all right. I wanted to ask you about some current wrestling things. I'm going to kind of go like not rapid fire because I want you to get your thoughts and feelings out on things, but it's just going to be me asking questions and kind of like seeing your thoughts.
Okay.
All right. Um, have you watched any AEW lately?
So I haven't watched a show in years, but I do follow a Facebook page that does like AEW updates.
Okay,
So I'm
so
kind of in the loop, but not really.
okay, last night on Dynamite, there was a match between Darby Allin and Will Ospreay.
Okay,
It was yeah,
that was
it was
part
the
of the AE the what do they call it, the for Continental Classic or something.
yeah, the Continental Classic, yeah. Dude, when I tell you, I think you really need to go and watch that match. It's on YouTube. Um, Probably match of the year so far for like
Really?
any company.
Okay.
And well, no, I can't say match of the year because it's going to be tough to top Cody winning at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, just because the whole build up, it was literally Avengers Endgame at WrestleMania 40 this year. Like, sorry, I just misspoke real quick. For the wrestling gods, please don't smite me. Um, no, but if you want to talk top five of the year, okay, yeah, Darby Allin and Will Ospreay definitely put on a fucking clinic last night on Dynamite. It was awesome. So I really
I'll
think you
definitely
should
got to
check that
check
out.
that out.
Yeah. Okay. So then I won't ask any more AEW, relative questions because I was going to ask about how you feel like John Moxley has been since he was Dean Ambrose, or do you think you could answer that the right way or nah?
So it may be an unpopular opinion, but I feel that Mox is this John Cena of AEW at the moment.
Ooh, that's a hot take, but I think you could be right because he's like the anti John Cena, right? Like he's trying to take over and do it in like the worst way possible, but he just keeps winning.
But I mean from like a booking standpoint, like it's like every time you turn around, whenever they seem to be in a crisis, who do they put the belt on? Moxley.
Yeah, okay. All right. I get what you're saying on that one. Yeah, it's like they don't have sustainable talent.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. I got what you're saying. Um, hmm. Oh, sorry.
You good over
For
there?
yeah, I'm good. I'm good. For the last AEW question, okay? Because I won't keep going down the AEW route. For the next person that you think that's going to jump ship from AEW, who do you think it's going to be? Do you think it'll be Ricky Starks or do you think it'll be someone else?
So, like, are we talking about like people that that haven't been confirmed, like a Pentagon and a Ray Phoenix, or
Like,
because I feel that's who we're going to see next. But I mean, like, I don't know if it's been like confirmed, but like it's been heavily rumored for a long ass time now.
yeah, the Zero Miedo, the zero and the down that was on Raw this past Monday is very heavily influenced that it's going to be Penta, but Ray Phoenix is still under contract, I think, for like 9 or 10 more
Okay.
months because Tony Khan did the classic Vince McMahon and tacked on all the
Nah.
time that he was out for the end of his contract. Yeah, because the rumors got out that they were planning on going to WWE. So he couldn't keep Penta, but he kept Ray and fucked up the entire fucking thing.
But I would not be surprised if it was a like in Ricky Starks.
Do you think he would go to NXT or just straight to the main roster?
So probably NXT because I mean nothing against him, but like I don't think he has enough star power to go right to the main roster.
He's like Jericho, but with nothing behind him, in my opinion. Like he's got the mouth that Jericho did when he debuted for
Yeah.
WWE, but he doesn't have like the skill set behind him like a Jericho did.
And it's like I feel that like he need so like I don't want to say like change his gimmick, but it's like every single promo battle that he's in, everybody goes to the same thing, calling him a knockoff Rock.
Yeah. Yep. And do you think that that's like vindicated or like do you think there's truth to it or do you think they're just kind of like because I always call like LA Knight Stone Cold Dwayne Johnson.
Yeah, but
Like do you think it's to that level with The Rock or no?
see, it's really hard to say because yeah, like he kind of dresses like The Rock, and he has a similar look, but I don't think he can pull it off the same way that like LA Knight does.
Right.
If like if that makes sense.
No, I got you. It's like Ricky doesn't necessarily have the same swag as LA Knight does.
Yeah.
Okay. So speaking of LA Knight, how do you feel about the last couple months with him? It feels like that maybe he might have been exposed in one of those pay-per-view matches or premium live event, I'm sorry. And it feels like Triple H doesn't have the confidence in him as he did. Like it just feels like to me anyway that LA Knight's doing like a stutter step right now. And I think they just don't know what to do with him, in my opinion. Like, so what do you think?
All right. So for one, don't feel bad because I will forever call them pay-per-views.
Right.
But but um I so and I forget who said this. And I think we mentioned this like in off camera one time, but somebody said that your baby faces are better when they're chasing the title.
Yeah,
Once they
That was a Jim Ross thing from a few years ago, if I'm not mistaken.
once they get the title, it's like shit. Now what do we do?
Right.
Because like everybody buys into their journey to get to the belt.
You mean the story?
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, like I don't think he was necessarily exposed because he still has a like good fan following. Like he still gets those big pops, but it's like once they get the title, they kind of like don't know what to do with them now. So it's like they're just kind of like lost in limbo, even though they're champion.
See, for me with LA Knight, I feel like once he got that United States Championship, he actually started like botching a lot more in the ring.
Hmm.
To me, like I mean, just the last time he had the championship, he dropped the fucking thing. Like there there was plenty of times where he's done stuff like that and where he's missed moves in the ring and he like fell out of the ring one time. There's it's just and he even messed up that whole promo about a month ago where he was like on SmackDown, but he started talking about Raw. I don't
Okay.
I
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. Like I feel like there's either something wrong with LA Knight or maybe the pressure is getting to him because I've noticed a tonal shift within not his presentation, but how he manages his presentation,
Yeah.
if that makes any
Okay.
sense.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Okay. But yeah, maybe take a look at him a little bit deeper, on SmackDown or something. See if you see what I'm seeing or anything, because I don't know if I am going crazy. I just feel like he's lost a step, or he's in his own head or something, because of maybe he feels like he had a lackluster United States run. I don't know, but there's just been something categorically off about him to me for like the last month, almost 2 months now.
And you said that like you started noticing this as soon as he became champion.
Pretty
Is that
much, yeah. Like maybe,
okay?
maybe like a week or two before, actually. Like I don't know if it was the jitters of him becoming champion or what, but I did. Yeah, I've noticed it about like the last couple months, like beginning of October, probably. I really noticed and paid attention to it. Like I said,
Okay.
just next time you're watching them, see if you can pick out some of the stuff that I just mentioned or whatever.
Oh yeah, gotcha. I will definitely study more closely.
Yes. All right. So we're a year and a month out from CM Punk's return to the WWE. I know that we've talked about this a couple times out of this environment, but how did you feel when you saw that motherfucker walk through and Cult of Personality was blasting over the speakers? Like, what was going on in your head?
So once again, it's going to be an unpopular opinion. But I was pretty much on the same wavelength as Seth Rollins.
What the fuck?
Because but just hear me out. So at the time it so there's no denying that he is an artist in that ring. I said this earlier about Bret Hart.
Yeah,
He is an artist in like the ring, but it just seemed like that no matter where he was, problems would start to form, whether it was his fault or not. And it's like, if like trouble seems to follow somebody, you start to ask yourself, is it actually them that's the problem?
right,
But,
right.
like you said, we're like what, damn near 2 years in,
Almost like, well, we're about a year and
and
a month then, yeah.
so far so good. So I mean, like, he at this point has proved me wrong. I will I have no problem at admitting that.
I think a lot of Punk's problem, and Punk has even kind of said this, when he was in AEW, there wasn't any control backstage. People were kind of like
Yeah.
a
Inmates
wild,
running the
wild west.
asylum.
Huh?
Inmates running the asylum.
Yeah, literally. And when you get on the bad side of the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega before, All Out, one of the biggest pay-per-views, and then you go on All Out and then you say the shit that you say and you do the things you do, there's no coming back from that. That's scorched earth right there. And when they tried to give him collision and let him get like his own creativity and his own things, when he started banning people, that right there, you knew it was the downfall of CM Punk. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? But that was also because Tony Khan was like, sure, yeah, do whatever. Here's money. Bye.
Right?
Um, but you can't do that. Like, you can't. And that's what Punk said that he really enjoys about being back in the WWE, is that it is a machine. It's well oiled. They know what they're doing. They're in the business of pops, basically. You know what I mean? Like creating memories and moments.
Yeah.
And he said that once he got back there, it made sense. Um, but speaking of Punk and that, did you by any chance watch the kickoff to Wrestle or not? Oh my God, the kickoff to WrestleMania! Jesus Christ,
We're not
I
there
am
yet.
months, I am months ahead of myself. Did you watch the kickoff to Raw on Netflix?
So I didn't watch it live, but I did see clips.
Okay, yeah, I went back and I watched it earlier today because I didn't have the opportunity to watch it live either. Um, we don't have to go down the whole thing. What I want to talk about the Punk and Rollins match, obviously, because that
Sure.
was announced as the main event for the first Raw on Netflix, and that is fucking historic as well.
Whoa,
Um,
whoa, whoa, really?
Yeah. Oh, you didn't see that part.
Even though the like freaking Roman and Solo is like gonna be also on that card.
Yeah, they announced the main event.
Ah,
They announced it at the fucking thing. The main event is Rollins versus Punk.
then all right, so that tells me one thing. That means the ending is going to be one for the ages.
Yeah, Punk's gonna win it.
If that is
I'm
the main event, we're in for like something crazy.
Yeah, yeah. I fully agree. If that's capping off the first night of Raw on Netflix, Jesus Christ. Could you imagine the bookend of beginning the show with the Ulafala and ending the show with Seth Rollins and CM Punk?
Oh man.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. They're turning this into a premium live event because they've got Roman versus Solo for the Ulafala in a tribal combat.
Hmm.
They've got Rhea versus Liv for the women's championship. You got Punk versus Rollins. Like those three matches alone right there are
Oh
just
yeah,
what the fuck.
yeah, right. Those three matches could headline any card anywhere.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I love that phrase too. Any card, they could headline any card anywhere. Yes, but it's true. Those three matches alone. Um, did you see the Punk and Rollins segment?
A little bit of it.
All right, did you see where he called him a bootlicking a bootlicking bitch?
Yeah.
That shit had me dying, but um how do you think that this is all going to go into Saturday night main event? Because Kevin Owens is still running around with the fucking winged eagle. I don't know if you saw that or not.
Yeah, yep.
Yeah, he's still running around with the winged eagle. We got Saturday night main event coming up. Do you think we're going to get Cody and KO 2, or is it 3 at this point?
Mm,
I think it's 3, right?
current feud wise?
Yeah,
Oh
current
yeah,
feud.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, three. Yep.
Do you think we're going to get Cody KO 3, and do you think it's going to be in the blue steel cage?
Oh, I
Ooh, because
I didn't
Saturday
think
night
of
main
that.
event, right?
I didn't
Winged
think of
Eagle.
that, but dude, I missed that blue steel.
Like, what would you do if KO came out with the fucking winged eagle and they were going into the blue steel cage?
Like it would be like me being a little kid again.
That shit would be awesome. Now, I don't know if you saw this, but Saturday night main event actually did like a 2 point, I think it was a 2.93 or something in ratings, which is over 2 million. And the fucking NBA Cup, that in season championship, only got 1.89 million viewers. So the WWE actually beat the NWA, the NBA. I am all fucked up tonight, man. And I'm not even high. That's the fucked up thing. Um, the WWE beat the NBA in broadcast ratings. Like we're talking ABC versus NBC, and the WWE won. Like,
That is insane to think about.
right? Like I'm not alone in that, right? Like that's pretty fucking huge to know that the WWE beat the NBA in a straight up competition ratings for ratings.
Right?
Unimaginable. Um so do you think that I'm going to jump back real quick before we go
Okay.
forward. Do you think that the Raw on Netflix is going to have that set that we saw during the kickoff? And I don't know if you really paid attention to it, but I listened to a podcast from Sam Roberts called Not Sam Wrestling,
Yeah. Yep.
and he talks about everything counting. Now, there's two things that I noticed during that press conference. Michael Cole called CM Punk the Second City Saint not once but twice. He's
Hmm.
been called the best in the world since he's been back. He's
Yeah.
not been called the Second City Saint. So why are they calling him that going into Raw on Netflix? That's interesting to me, right?
Yeah, yeah, because I've been noticing that they don't do things just to do them. There's a purpose, but behind every promo, there's a purpose behind every backstage segment, whether it's like the person being talked to or something in the background. If you
Yeah.
see something during a show, it's done on purpose.
Yep. And I'm just wondering why the change from best in the world, which is what all of Punk's merchandise has been since he's been back,
Yeah.
to all of a sudden being the Second City Saint. Now, don't get me wrong. Second City Saint invokes memories of Ring of Honor, IAW, all the other places that he went to. Like that's what Second City Saint reminds me of when I think of it. But he's not been called Second City Saint in the WWE since like ECW, I think, right?
Maybe.
So, do you think that there's a Paul Heyman connection there?
Well, I
I don't
mean,
know.
Paul does owe him that favor, so I
Yes, he
mean,
does. I don't know, but Punk also still didn't answer that, by the way, at the press conference.
he says something about how he needed to know like his Netflix password or something.
He needed Paul's Netflix password. Yeah, that was great. Um, so now that we've talked about Netflix and now that we've talked about Saturday Night Main Event and kind of what we hope for that, the meat and potatoes today of what we were originally going to talk about is our top 10 Royal Rumbles.
Hmm.
And if I know you, I know you kind of went hard in the paint on this. And I know that your 10 are your 10 and that is definitive. Like so what we're going to do is I explained it to you already, but for everybody that's listening along, we're going to do 10 to 1 countdown style and we're going to go with you first, then me, then you, then me, all the way down till we get to our number ones. And if you've got a couple sentences that you want to say, or you got anything that you want to say, please say what you got to say about it. You know, this is our top tens, and we can gush if we want. And if we don't want to gush, then we don't got to gush. So let's get into it. Sir, what is your number 10 Royal Rumble of all
All right. So before we officially get into this, I thought that this was going to be a lot easier
time? Mm-hmm.
because I was like, oh yeah, I could name off this. But then when I actually started doing notes on it, I'm like, holy shit, how can I fit 10
Yeah.
as 10 better than the rest of them? But I came up with the top 10, and some of these may not be somebody else's favorites, but
Yeah.
fuck
No,
them, it was my list.
exactly. And that's what I want to let everybody know. Wrestling is subjective.
Yeah.
And you're not going to find bias on a wrestling podcast. I'm sorry. I will say what I like. I will say what I don't like. And you guys and gal that's coming on here can say what you like and can say what you don't like. This is not some sort of fucking like dictatorship or anything.
Right.
If you've got something negative you got to say, then damn it, you got something negative you got to say. It's not all fucking happy roses. If you don't like it, you don't like it, but that doesn't mean that somebody else can't. That's all it is. So before anybody wants to start shit about either of our lists, go create your fucking own, get your own podcast, and go do it. Let everybody else know your opinion. So, with that being said, I also have two things that I want to put out there.
All right.
I don't have any women's rumbles on mine, and
Okay.
that's not because the women haven't been kicking ass. It's just because to me personally, I haven't had one of those moments yet in the women's rumble. I haven't personally had a moment where I'm like, damn, if I was creating a top 10 list or even a five, because I think there's only been six. But if I were creating a top five list, I don't have any of these that I would want to put on a top five. And look, that means something. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
there's been moments in the women's rumble, sure, but there's not been enough to beat out what I have here as a top 10 for my rumbles. So I just wanted to let everybody know that there's no females in this. I mean, there's females in some of the rumbles because back in the
Yeah.
day, the women were allowed to wrestle in some of the rumbles, but there's no actual women rumble in any of mine. And also, my, my number one rumble still remains my number one rumble, and it's been my number one rumble for years. And when I went and looked back on it, I was like, holy shit, the way that this rumble is actually kind of playing into current WWE is really insane. But okay, so now let's get into it.
All
Sir,
right.
what
So,
is your number 10?
so my number 10, so my number 10 is the 2024 Women's Royal Rumble
Right off the bat, JD's like, fuck you, Rob.
All right, so my reasoning for this is so we have like not big moments, but we have the introduction to Jordan Grace,
Right, right. Oh, yeah,
who,
Jordan Grace was awesome.
who I feel is going to be a problem once. I mean, like, is she like technically signed to WWE yet, or is it still in a partnership with TNA?
Um, she's gonna be, from my understanding, available very soon, from what I've been reading. And also, TNA has just asked a lot of their top talent to take pay cuts to keep
Ooh,
working for the company. So that doesn't bode well for them. Um, I think we're going to see Joe Hendry, maybe Jordan Grace, Moose, and a couple others kind of say, hey, WWE, what's up, guys?
okay. Yeah, so we get Jordan Grace, we get Naomi back, we get Jade Cargill, who I've been waiting forever
Yeah.
to debut, and we get that funny R-Truth segment where he thinks it's the freaking a men's Royal Rumble match, and it's like anything that R-Truth touches is freaking gold. I don't care what anybody says.
And here we are in December, 12 months later after that, and it's still our truth is gold.
Yes, but yeah, that is my number 10.
Okay. So my number 10 is the 1990 Royal Rumble. And the reason why the 1990 Rumble is my number 10 is because it's the first Rumble that had a storyline to it. And
Okay,
it was
yeah,
the first, yeah, it was the first Rumble that actually mattered in a storyline. And we had that classic Hulk Hogan and Ultimate Warrior stare off, which really kind of set the pace for the moments that we have today when it
yeah.
comes to those stare downs and all that shit. When you had Warrior and Hogan just stare at each other, brother, that was like, oh
Right?
man.
Like, let's go, baby. Go at it.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's I got goosebumps just thinking about the shit, you know. So that's my number 10. And what is your number 9, sir?
Okay, so my number 9 is the 2005 Men's Royal Rumble match.
Ooh, that is a solid fucking match.
So, you have, the for classic finish, with both Batista and Cena
Yep,
dropping
the
at the
double
same
elimination.
time. And then you have one of the funniest moments ever, freaking Vince storming out there and tearing both quads in the center of the ring. But But besides that, one thing that I forgot until I looked at it this morning, but that is the Daniel Tudor Royal Rumble.
Yeah, it is. Oh,
And you had Chris Benoit, Eddie Guerrero start off, Tudor come out third, fucking hardcore Holly come out fourth, and they just chop the shit out of this
shit
kid.
out of him.
And and if I'm not mistaken, so that Royal Rumble set up the classic Kurt Angle Shawn Michaels feud.
Yes, it did. Yes, it did. You're right. Oh
So
man.
that's number nine.
All right. My number nine is the 1992 Royal Rumble. And with a tear in my
Yes.
eye, the first time the
Yes.
championship was ever a thing for the Rumble, and Ric Flair won it. Ric
Yes.
Flair won the 1992 Rumble and solidified himself. So right now we've got number 10, first WrestleMania with story purpose. Number nine, first WrestleMania where the championship was a feeling, a moment, a thing.
Hmm.
So I don't know if you can kind of guess what my list is going with, but it's almost like it's like historic moments.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? My top five is a little bit different, but so okay, what's your number eight?
All right. So my number eight is the 2023 Women's Royal Rumble. So, all right. All right. So now this Rumble made my list mainly for, you know, one particular thing.
Okay.
It was watching Rhea and Liv go coast to coast.
Okay.
And, it was the first, I mean, now granted, like, the Women's Royal Rumble match is still new, but, it's the first time that, the, like, two women we saw do that. So, that always stuck out.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh man. Okay. So my number eight is the 2005 Men's Rumble. Obviously, there was only men's at that point, but for all the reasons you just said, for pewter, for the double elimination, for everything, the 2005 Rumble was just one of these moments in time where it was like, I mean, well, let's face it, every Rumble, every Mania, SummerSlam, Survivor Series, they're all just moments in time.
Oh,
Um,
yeah.
but the 2005 one was just special in a weird way. Um, I think even with all the talent that was in the 2005 Rumble as well, just like double elimination, aside, that was a real big moment because we were coming off of 2004, which was categorically one of the craziest and coolest years in WWE.
Yeah.
And then we went right straight into it with, like you said, the Shawn Michaels and Kurt, and then all that. Like, there was a lot that was in 2005. Damn. So What's your number seven, man? This is getting rough, right? Like,
Yeah. Yeah, dude. Like, like I said, like I thought this was going to be a lot easier. And then when I started writing them down, like, there were so many that I wanted to put, but
yeah.
I just couldn't, factor in where. But all right, so my number seven is the 2009 Royal Rumble.
Ooh, 2009.
So,
Okay.
you had Rob Van Dam come back.
Yep.
You had that good moment with like Santino, like, I wasn't ready.
Yep. Yep. That was his
And
quick elimination.
yep. And of course, my guy Randy Orton won.
Yeah.
And it happened to be one of the biggest botches in Royal Rumble besides the double elimination, but the pyro not going off and
Hmm.
watching Randy Orton freak the fuck out on live TV.
I love that he just stood there for like a smooth 20 seconds
Right,
too.
right. And like you can tell when like that pyro finally went off, they they zoomed in on his face and it was just like the pure disgust. Like, he's up there like you got to be kidding me. Like like are they ribbing me right now?
Yeah, and that was during his real nasty fucking feud with Triple H, right? That this is that WrestleMania, yeah?
Yep.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Jesus Christ. Yeah, the disdain on his fucking face, man. He looked like Voldemort.
Right.
Just straight up just angry. Bro was mad. All right. My number seven. And this was a hard one, but it's number seven for a reason. So just bear with me.
Okay. Okay.
1997, Austin. The first Austin win.
Hmm.
The way everything went. The feeling that we all had after that fucking glass shattered and his fist was raised and he just the Austin era has begun. Like that, just like we knew that at WrestleMania, we knew that in Massachusetts, it was going to be done. It was going to be over. Like that, we knew the trigger was going to be pulled. And then, a couple weeks later, Mike Tyson gets involved and just, mm,
Oh yeah. If we can just relive that just again for the first time, that would be
yeah,
amazing.
yeah, it would be absolutely fucking wonderful, man. Um, what is your number six? Because we're getting close to the top five now, so this is
Yeah.
going to get rough.
Okay, so my number six is the first ever women's Royal Rumble.
2018.
Yes, sir. So,
Okay.
so two big reasons. One, it was the first ever one
Yep.
for like the women, and two, I was there for it,
Yep. Yep.
and it was just amazing. Like watching that, it's like it was like I think every other entrant was a blast from the past.
Mm-hmm. Because they didn't have quite the women's roster that they do now.
Mhm. So seeing like, Sasha duking it with like Trish and Lita and we got to see like, Trish and Mickey James in the ring together again. And it was like just like, so many like, like women's wrestlers from like the past, freaking Molly Holly. It was just
Yep.
amazing to watch.
Jacqueline too was in that one, right?
Yes, yep.
Yep. Yep. And then Oscar was the one that won it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
And
because
like every single one of them still looked good.
yeah, they did. Yeah, they did.
Now,
Michelle McCool looked, I think, the best out
oh,
of all of them. Yeah,
oh
like
yeah.
just pound for
She
pound wrestling wise. I mean,
she still looked like she did when she was still wrestling full.
yeah, yeah.
Now, my only knock about that was the ending,
Okay.
and that was when Ronda Rousey debuted. So it's
Mm,
not that she debuted. I just feel that it took away Oscar's moment.
yeah. Okay. Because now you're thinking that Ronda's going to debut and win and all that. Like,
Well, no, like she
oh no,
debuted
she debuted
at the
afterwards.
end. Yeah, yep.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's my bad. She came out after the match was done. Shit.
It's like they could have waited until Raw to have her come out, but I'm not going to get into
Yeah,
that.
no, because the WWE has done plenty of wrong against Asuka. We already know this. Um, okay. So my number six, oh man, I wanted to put this as my number five, but then my number five is definitely number five. You know what I mean? Like I'm sitting here looking at it and I'm like, damn, because this was the one that I wanted to change. Like I've been struggling with this right here, that transition from lower 10 to top five, all that. Like
Yeah,
this was hard right here. But ultimately I'm gonna go with 2008, and I've only got one word: Cena. When that motherfucker came back two and a
yeah.
half months later, Madison Square Garden lost its shit.
Up at number 30.
And for a collective, like, what, 30 seconds, nobody hated John Cena.
Right.
But you could clearly hear that transition happen from when he walked, from when he from not debuted, from when he appeared and walked to the ring to when he got in the ring and made his first elimination. The cheers were slowly turning to boos.
Yeah.
And then once that elimination happened, it was just straight up "fuck you, Cena." Like,
Yep. It's
but
like everybody forgot who he was for a minute. It was like, oh, damn it! Like we're supposed to hate this guy.
yeah, but that when you heard that, people were like, "What the fuck?" because it was supposed to be 9 months, man. We weren't supposed to get him back. And then, of course, there's Super Cena, brother. That's the beginning of it. That's the legacy of Super Cena right there. Like, fuck.
One
God.
thousand percent, man. 1000%.
That's hard. That was hard. But when you hear my number five, you'll understand from 5 to 1 why 5 to 1 is 5 to 1. Like,
Yeah,
okay. So, with that being said, we are now officially entering top five territory. You get the distinction of going first with
okay.
your number five.
But my number five is the 97 Royal Rumble.
Oh, okay. Okay. One word, Austin.
Yes.
Yep.
Like now, all right. So now, if I'm not mistaken, because he won it 3 times, so I kind of get the like three mixed up sometimes. But that was like the one where like he sat on the turnbuckle and looked at his fake watch, right?
Yep.
Okay.
That's the one where he was
Yeah.
looking at his fake watch. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yep. That's the infamous one.
Yes,
All right. So is that all you got to say about that?
pretty much.
Okay. All
Bottom
right.
line.
So my number five is the 2018 Men's Rumble
Ooh, okay.
because Shinsuke Nakamura winning just felt like something new was coming. Like it felt like something fresh, like NXT actually mattered.
Yes.
And he was in the ring. The final four was Roman, Cena, Finn, and Nakamura.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And Nakamura is the one that came out on top. Mind bending, still to this day. Like,
Yes.
and the fact that it only took Nakamura 2 years in the WWE, and then he went and won it. Like, that's cool. That was awesome to me. I just it was so dope. It was a cool moment to have, and that's something that we'll probably never recapture again. So, your number four.
My number four is the 2018 Men's Royal Rumble.
Oh man, we're close here. And what is your reasoning for number four, sir?
All right. So for obvious reasons, I was there to witness it live.
Yep.
But like you said, watching Shinsuke do his thing and being in there with who he was with and still coming out the winner. But you still had funny moments like Heath Slater, right?
Yep.
Getting
I got
attacked before.
kids.
Oh, right. And I think he got attacked before he was able to make it in the ring, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then each person that came out would hit him with something. And then I think Big E fed him a pancake.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then, and I think that went on for maybe 5 or 6 people, right?
Yes.
And
Yes, it did.
is like freaking Heath Slater ever gonna get in the freaking ring? So here comes Sheamus. He he picks Heath Slater up, throws him in in the ring, and then Heath Slater, not knowing what the hell is going on, turns around and then the clothesline just freaking Sheamus out of the ring. It was some of the funniest shit I've seen in my life.
And we're talking Mohawk Sheamus here.
Yes, yeah,
that part was absolutely fucking ridiculous. Like absolutely ridiculous. Oh my god. Rumbles, man. Oh man, oh man.
well,
All right. So my number four, the 2020 Rumble. Brock Lesnar came out
yes,
as the champion and just fucking eliminated 11 people.
yep.
And I remember talking to you saying, is this all the fucking match is going to be? Is it just going to be Lesnar eliminating people in 3 seconds because I'm going to turn this off? Like, I was pissed.
They
But
might as
as
well have renamed the show Suplex City.
yeah, they, should have at that point. But as the tides came out, And then we got the Keith Lee moment. And then when Drew hit the fucking Claymore,
Yes.
dude, and Lesnar got eliminated from it, and he just sat there for like what, three or four people that came out.
Yep. And like
That
he never broke eye contact with Drew.
never. And then also that was the fucking night that Edge returned too.
Yes.
That was the night that Edge came out with those fucking eyes. The just I can't believe I'm here eyes. Like,
I I was shedding grown man tears that night.
yeah, I'm getting goosebumps again talking about it. Like, just the fact that he was there, it was just monumental. So, okay. All right, batten down the hatches, top three time. This
All right.
is this is where we're getting to the intense times. What is number three?
My number three is the 2020 Men's Royal Rumble.
I guess we don't need to say why. I just
Right.
gushed over that one.
But all right, so now I might be wrong, but wasn't this um was this like the first Rumble or first PLE since COVID, or was there another PLE like before that one? But like I think this was the first Rumble right in front of a live crowd since COVID, or was
No,
there
actually, this was
the
the
last?
Rumble before COVID.
Oh, okay,
Because remember, we went to go see Elimination Chamber the next month in Philly.
that's right, and that was the last one.
That was it. Because remember, we
That's
bought the
right.
car the day before. The day
Mhm.
before, then we went to Elimination Chamber, and then Monday it was lockdown.
That's right.
Because I remember getting ready to watch Raw saying, like, so what's going to happen? Because we didn't know. Like, there couldn't be anybody there. Or wait, the first Raw after lockdown, they still had people there, if I'm not mistaken, right? Because the guidelines weren't like 100% guidelines, and then like the next week came, and then nobody was there, and it was the performance center with the fucking lonely fan.
Yeah, and then like I think Triple H did commentary with Michael Cole, or was that SmackDown?
I don't remember. It was either Raw. It might have been Raw. That might have been Raw because it was like they just didn't know what to fucking do. It felt like it
Yeah,
was just yeah. But yeah, dude, that Rumble, the 2020 Rumble was the last one, and Drew won that one. That was when he
yep,
was supposed to get his moment, and ooh man, we saw how that unfortunately turned out. Drew won in front of nobody.
yep.
Had that chip on his shoulder ever since. So my number three, my three, two, and one for me are absolutely definitive at this point. I don't see anything coming close to my three, two, or one for a while. But my number three is the 2024 Men's Rumble. It was absolutely a phenomenal Rumble. 2023 was great, but I feel like 2023 crawled so 2024, no, walked so 2024 could run. I felt like this year's Rumble was like a coming out party for the WWE.
Oh yeah,
They just had everybody full stop. Cody and Punk in the ring together at the beginning of the year. Like, there was so much promise for this most awesome fucking shit. And then Punk got hurt. And then it just blew everything the fuck up. But damn it, Cody won. And we got sent on this path that we've never been sent on before. And I can't still wrap my head around how much repercussions came out of the 2024 Men's Rumble. Like,
now knowing what we know now, would you say that Punk getting hurt was a blessing in disguise because we got the phenomenal feud between him and Drew because of that.
Oh yeah, Punk getting hurt was one of the worst things because I wanted to see Punk win that championship in Philly. I wanted to see him
I
go back
know.
to Ring of Honor roots. I wanted Tyler Black versus CM Punk. I wanted Ring of Honor because it was Philly, it was ECW, it was everything that they have been building for damn near their entire careers. And then it just got fucking stripped. It got taken away. Now, we did get the Drew feud months later, obviously, and now we're getting back to Seth. And I said this in a previous episode. I was getting really down on Seth and Punk because of how great the feud was with Drew. And I really wasn't giving a fuck about the feud between Seth and Punk for a while. But now that they really amped it up and we had the face to face that we did, and now that it's the main event of Raw, like I feel like they're giving it its due again,
Oh yeah, absolutely.
you know? But what we could have had was still something utterly incredible. But I think that we got an amazing WrestleMania out of it and an amazing road to WrestleMania that was just full of so many different twists and turns and just fuck, I met CM Punk because of it. You know what I mean? Like shit was wild.
Yes.
But okay. So what's your number two?
All right, so I'm just gonna say that mine is different this time.
Okay, finally, yes.
Okay, so my number two is the 2001 Royal Rumble.
Oh man. What a fucking rumble, right?
That one had so like I think this has my biggest note list on it.
Okay.
So that was like Stone Cold's record third win.
Yep.
Kane set the original elimination record in that one, which um just a great performance all around from Kane.
Yep.
We get like the comedic Drew Carey spot.
Which got him a Hall of Fame spot.
And if I'm not mistaken, like I think that's the first time we've seen the Hardy Boys actually like duke it out because they were the only two in the ring at the
Yep.
time.
Number one and number two. Yeah. Yeah, dude.
Um and then like so now something else that I forgot that happened until I watched the highlights a little bit ago. But Triple H actually attacked Stone Cold before him getting in the ring and like basically
Yeah.
bloodied his face.
Yep.
And
Yep.
then we got that like iconic face off with Steve and like The Rock at the end there and like the final four and like Steve's like face is all bloody in like the corner and like freaking Rock staring at him like, all right, bro, man, let's go at it. But dude, like the like freaking 2001 Royal Rumble was just, I think, a masterpiece.
I I'll have to agree with you because it was also my number two.
Nice.
Yeah, the 2001 Rumble, bro. Like there's just it was like the Attitude Era was on full display.
Hmm.
Like the 2024 was the coming out party for the WWE, like to mainstream media, because
Yeah.
as popular as WWE was in the Attitude Era, it was not mainstream. It wasn't mainstream to where it is right now,
Oh
where
yeah.
it is
No
where it
doubt.
is yeah, where it is saturated everything, but that doesn't discredit where it was in 2001, not one bit. But yeah, that was full on fucking car crash because if I'm not mistaken, that's the first Rumble that we also had weapons involved in.
Yeah. Yeah. They turned into a freaking hardcore match halfway through.
Like so that match had literally everything for everyone. It was a hardcore match, big shows out there beating the fuck out of it, like Kane's thing. Like it was just a crazy rumble, and it's so deserving of number two. And I will say if my number one Rumble didn't exist, this would be number one.
Yeah.
And now I'm kind of scared to what your fucking number one is because I swear if our number two and our number one are the same, that is going to be some shit. Okay. So JD,
Yes, sir.
what's your number one, man?
My number one is the 95 Royal Rumble.
Oh, thank fucking God we have different rumbles for number one. Is
So, all right. So,
that Brett?
you know, no, that was Sean.
Sean. Okay.
So, I think from a match standpoint, like it's probably not the greatest, but the same reason why I put the like in a 23 women's Royal Rumble match, it was the first time we saw somebody go coast to coast.
Yeah. Yeah, it was.
And it started with Sean and Bulldog and it ended with Sean and Bulldog.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And just like the fact that those two lasted the entire freaking match.
Had
And
never
then I
been done before.
remember and then like I like remember watching it as a kid when freaking Bulldog clothesline Sean over and like watching him in the cat and just pop back up. I'm like, holy shit, what did I just witness?
Yeah, man. Yeah. Yeah. And then what was it? Was it? Oh, it was Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. I'm sorry. I was thinking about when Ricky skinned the fucking cat
Oh yeah.
against Chris Jericho in like 2008 or some shit, and then the cameraman completely missed it, and then he got fired the next day. That sorry, I don't know why that just made me remember that, but yeah, no, that was dude, the first time I saw that. Like that was the first skinning of the cat, right? That we saw, or was there like a couple before that?
I mean, there was probably a few similar, but
But
not.
nothing with that ramification behind.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. All right. All right. That's just like how Sean and Razor had the ladder match before the ladder match.
Yeah.
It was there, but it just didn't mean anything. Um, okay, so my number one, all right, and I don't know if you're going to appreciate this or if you're gonna just fucking hate this, or or if you remember this, because I might unlock a fucking mania, yeah, mania, a rumble. Me with my fuck ups tonight, I might unlock a rumble that you're like, fuck, that could have been in my top 10. But my number one is the 2010 Royal Rumble. And the reason why is because Punk led a fucking sermon in this Rumble.
Mm.
Hero was the theme song from Skillet. That whole Royal Rumble by the numbers, that whole fucking presentation where it was like, I need a hero, and then
Yes.
the next one to come out. That whole thing was just wonderful. And then the final four was Edge. Hold on, I'm looking real quick. Edge, Batista, Cena, and I can't read my own fucking handwriting right there, but there was a fourth one that was really really popular, and Edge won. Like Edge won this one hands down, flat out. This is what led to Edge's first retirement
Mm.
against Alberto Del Rio.
Yeah.
This match to me was like utterly amazing. I still remember it. I still love it. I don't know what it is about the 2010 Rumble, if it was the Punk sermon where he was eliminating people and then just preaching to everybody, whether whether it was the final four, Edge winning, I don't know, but there was just so much in the 2010 Rumble that just spoke to me and still does to this day. And just like with your Rumble, I'm sure your reasoning and the way it is, I don't think for you there will be a different number one because of how it made you feel when you saw
Yeah.
it. You know what I mean? And that's the defining moments, right? That the WWE is always going for. What are your defining moments?
Yep.
What are your moments as a fan?
It hit
And
like it hits each fan differently.
yeah, yeah. And our list right here, even though they were similar in a lot of spots and we had a lot of the same rumbles on our list, they were in different positions
Hmm.
and we ultimately had a lot of the same reasoning but different reasoning for some of them. And that's one of the main things that I absolutely love about professional wrestling and being able to talk to somebody who understands that people have different opinions when it
Oh yeah.
comes to wrestling. Yeah. Man,
Now, now, did you have like any like ones on your list that you had at first but then crossed out?
um, the only one I think I had on my list, hold on, because this is the second page. Did I have one or did I? Hold on. No, at first I had moved a couple WrestleManias. The one, okay, no, one I did cross out. One I did cross out. And I even have this in my notes, but I forgot to say it. I didn't forget to say it. I just worded it differently. It was 2023's Rumble.
Okay.
I I had 23's Rumble slotted in as like number 4, but then I thought about it and then I rearranged a couple numbers, which made me think about WrestleMania 24. And I was, or not WrestleMania. Geez, I keep wanting to go to fucking WrestleMania. It made me think about Rumble 24 and just how good it was and how it was that like such a feel good moment in professional wrestling history, not just like history right now, but history in totality. Like it was such a tonal shift in professional wrestling, and I think that it's going to be unmatched for a while. So I had to
Oh yeah.
put the 2024 Rumble it at the number 3 slot instead of
So
the 23 Rumble at number 4.
I
So
had
I'm guessing
three
you
crossed
had
out.
some, right? Oh, yep, you did. You had 3,
Yeah, three crossed out.
and which ones were they?
So I had the 1999 Royal Rumble.
Ooh, another actual classic Rumble.
That was where Vince won, and we got if I'm not mistaken, that was the Royal Rumble that China entered, and I think she was the first ever woman to enter a men's Royal
Yep,
Rumble.
yep, yep.
But I just couldn't. But like as I went on, I just didn't feel right putting that you know where I had it, so I just completely took it off the list.
Okay,
Another one that I crossed out was the 2015 Men's Royal Rumble match.
okay.
I had that for two reasons. One, I went there to watch it, so I
Hmm.
will always be biased for that. But when, but that, so during that match, I think I heard the biggest pop that I ever heard live, and it
Okay.
was when Bubba Ray Dudley came out at 3.
Really, Bubba Ray? Like that was
Yes.
really?
Yeah, because you figure we was in Philly,
Yeah,
and we hadn't seen Bubba in a while at that point.
yeah, because he was in TNA.
Yep. So,
Yeah.
so
Okay.
when you heard the pew, and then he comes out like that place went insane, dude.
Oh man, I can imagine, especially because I think that was right after Devon's heart attack.
I'm not
Because
sure.
I know he had one in 20 teens, in early 20 teens or mid 20 teens, but I'm not quite sure where it was. But I want to say that it might be somewhere in that area. So, yeah, I can imagine. I can imagine that that crowd would have been absolutely fucking berserk for it. I don't
But
remember what it was like over on TV, but yeah, that checks for it being, what it was.
it was just funny watching the crowd just turn on Roman, because
Oh
Roman won that one, and
yeah.
it was Like it was like not as close to watching like a John Cena in the like in the ECW arena, but it was damn near close.
Oh yeah, and the Rock's face was priceless.
Yeah. And then the third one that I crossed out was the 2008 Rumble.
The 2008,
Yeah, I
really.
just like like I just couldn't I couldn't justify having it where I did, and like I said, like with the other placements, I just had to take it out.
I understand. Hey, at first, the 2008 Rumble was actually my top five, but I did move it and put the 2018 Rumble in at number five because of the significance of Shinsuke and everything,
Yeah.
and then put Cena return at number six. So that I didn't cross out many, but I did move a couple. So, and that's one of them that I moved. And from my understanding, a lot of people still are pissed off at Cena returning at that Rumble for some reason.
Hmm.
Yeah, I don't know, but like they just can't bring themselves to say that that was a good Rumble because Cena came back. And I'm like, all right, well, you're a fucking idiot.
All
Like I
right,
don't know what else
so
to say to you.
now quick question.
Okay.
Did you not have any of all right, so there was how many Thunderdome ones? One?
Mm, probably yeah, 2021 I think was the Thunderdome one.
Now, I mean, like, I didn't add that because purely, it's in the friggin' Thunderdomes. I just
Yeah.
completely disregarded that completely, regardless of like the freaking quality of it.
Yeah, yeah. You get the countdown, but you don't get the fans. You don't get anything that
Right?
makes
You get a bunch of people on, their freaking like computers
it. Yeah, it's not.
with, with the freaking piped in crowd noise.
Yeah, it's not the same. Not the same. And that's like the same thing with that WrestleMania or even the 2020 WrestleMania. Yeah, they were there. They were manias, but do we really count them? No.
Yeah.
Because I think that WrestleMania, the 2021 WrestleMania, was the first one that they were allowed back into the arena or the stadium, but it was only like halfway filled
Yep.
because everybody had to be 6 feet apart from each other. So it was like completely halfway filled on night one and night two because that was the first time that they did two nights. Or no, the year before was the first time they did two nights. And then they had to do it in the fucking in the performance center because that
Mm-hmm.
was supposed to
Yep.
be the first two-night WrestleMania, and then they had to push it back to the year after, but they still did the two nights at the performance center. Oh, that's sad.
I
Jeez.
miss right, like that's such a weird time.
Yeah, I know. We could do a whole fucking episode on that. The fucking I lost my mic. If that's gonna sound crazy to the people listening to this because I was holding my mic in my hand and I just kind of like dropped it
Oh, gee.
and I just like cuffed it with my big meaty paws and yeah, it's whoever's listening to this is gonna get a shock.
Hope it was a good one.
Yeah, man, I had a absolute blast talking with you
Oh, of
for
course, always.
what is it, like an hour and 15 minutes probably in total, maybe an
And if
hour
I
and 30.
and if I made add, it's like, I feel that like this is something that has been like long past due because I mean we've been talking wrestling forever, dude.
Yeah, I know, man. I know. And you know what? That's kind of what Brandon says. That's kind of what my boy Sam in the UK says. Jossie said the same thing, like, bro, why haven't you done a fucking wrestling podcast? And I'm like, I don't know. Like that for the same reason why me finding out that the name a wrestling podcast was still available in 2024. Like, what the fuck is that? How
So
did this
I think that people either like think it's such a too obvious name or they want to get too cute with their like in the podcast titles.
I guess, man, because I kept finding like Wrestle Me, a wrestling podcast. slam this, a wrestling podcast, but just no, a wrestling podcast. Like, you fucking nimrods. and, and the fact that like the Instagram handle, the YouTube handle, the Facebook handle, I got my link tree. Like, there's so much that was just sitting there available, and I'm like, why
All
in
right.
2024 was this available?
Short, sweet, and straight to the point.
Yeah, and I love the pictures that I'm doing for it, like the kind of up close gritty pictures. It's just been so much fun. It's been a blast. And I'm loving doing this. I'm loving being able to talk to my friends, and I'm loving to be able to talk to the people that like you said, when we were younger, we wrestled, and then we continued talking wrestling, and we worked together, and we talked wrestling, and now here we are. You're gonna be part of this fucking weird ass wrestling podcast journey. Like, damn. And this was, and I know we said this before we recorded earlier, but this was your first podcast. Like, this is the
That's
first ever thing you did in a
that's
podcast.
that's the very first one.
And I'll tell you, dude, you killed it. We're still recording, but I'm letting you know to the public, like, you fucking killed this, dude, for your
Oh well,
first
thank
ever
you,
podcast. Yeah, man.
thank you so
Um,
much.
I didn't know how you were going to be with it, and I didn't know how you were going to take to it because, this is your first one. And I thought that it was your first one, but I wasn't 100% positive. So, like, yeah, dude, I thank you for coming on here and having this be your first podcast experience. I hope it was, fun.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, I had a blast. I've been actually looking forward to this since we spoke about this last week.
Fuck yeah. See, this is the shit right here. Fuck yeah.
But
Yes.
but like what made it easy though is that you know like it's not like we're talking about something that like we either a know nothing about or we never talked about before.
Right.
It's like it is a topic that we've been passionate about our entire life. So it's like I'm just having a conversation with my bro. Like
Yeah.
there's no pressure. There's like it's just chill.
Yeah, fantastic. And that's exactly what I was hoping it would be. Like, this is just a conversation with my bro, like the
Yeah.
person that I've known for 27 fucking years, you know what I mean? Just with mics. That's all. That's the
Yep.
difference.
All right.
All right, man. I know it's getting a little bit late, and I know you don't necessarily have a bedtime, but I also know that you and I are both we're both getting up there in age, and I'm
Yes.
tired. I don't know about you, but
I mean,
uh
I'm not there yet, but I'm sure that like once I sign off here, I'm going to be like heavy eyed.
yeah, I'm gonna smoke this joint and I'm going to bed, bro. Like, I've been sitting here I've been sitting here eyeing this bitch for about like 30 minutes now. And I'm like, man.
Well,
Daddy wanna go night night.
well, as Vince McMahon used to say, like, that's some good shit.
That's good shit, pal. That's good shit. All right, brother.
All right, man. Have a good one.
All right, you have a great one too, man, and thank you again for doing this.
Yes, sir. No problem.
All right, later. Hey, this is the part of the show where it's the end, and I gotta tell you to like, follow, subscribe, do all that great shit. A wrestling podcast. Look it up everywhere. Rob, I'm out.